You had mentioned meeting him before. When was the first time that you met Jake?
Yep. If I could also go back, just one thing that you said.
Sure.
That era from Mid-South, and it was Paul Orndorff, it was Jake, it was Ted DiBiase, Cowboy Bob Orton was there. It was a wrestling man's territory. But if you watch early Mid-South, everybody could have been Mr. Perfect because everybody was flawless in their work. And a lot of it, when you go to wrestling school, it's the lockup, then it's a headlock, and then you tell your story from there. And everything is done in the middle. And even though they all came from different places, when they were there, they were perfect in their footwork and everything. That if you were to teach somebody and just say, cool, I have to leave class for a week, watch these people wrestle, you will understand the basics of pro wrestling, and then watch how this guy stands out, because it's a much different. I mean, I'm currently watching him where the Barbarian just turned on him.
Yes.
And like, he went from the most hated to most beloved, and then his promos. And I get that everyone would talk like, he was also at times, when he found his niche in the WWE, to not yell. But in Mid-South, the way he emphasizes words, and sometimes he'd have to get mad, like, it really resonated with the crowd. And you could see, like, everyone talks about how popular the Junkyard Dog is, but Jake as a babyface in that area was as popular, hence the November to Remember in Louisiana. But I'm going to answer your other question. Never meet Jake before. We're doing Hardcore Heaven, my first ever main event in ECW.
97.
Pay-per-view.
Yes.
Paul was a big surprise guy. And we're also working with WWE. And I don't know time-wise whether, if I met him the first time was Manhattan Center, I'd have to go back to the book, which I have right over here. Or was it this pay-per-view? So the first time I meet Jake, ECW invades Raw. You have to understand, it was a much different time. We were a team where WWE was individuals. And Manhattan Center, small place. The industry, WWE is getting their ass kicked by WCW. And they needed us to come in and show anything could happen on Raw. Really did kick off that era. We also all came in dressed in tracksuits, like All Japan style. We all represented our brand of ECW. And I remember we all walked in and Vince was like the commander in charge, and saw this new military regime come in, and we're all like wearing ECW gear. And that impressed Vince, pressed him a lot, because he kept commenting on it. Anyway, the day goes by. Paul and I have to have a production meeting, which in ECW we had no production meetings. It was literally me and Paul driving in a car and writing stuff down. Or if Paul's not there, 97, he was on at every show. He started not being at shows towards the end of 97. And then I would just write out, shows, whatever. So I'm walking around the Manhattan Center, and then I hear, hey kid. And I turn, and it's Jake. Say, hey brother, stand here. All right. And I'm standing there. And Jake is smoking a cigarette. And then the other side is Jack Lanza, and he's smoking a cigarette. But like, they're huddled, like they're doing this most illegal thing in the world. And I'm just standing there. And then, I see them both, and they come inside, and Jack Lanza's like, thanks. And then Jake goes, thanks, bro. Yeah, Vince hates people who smoke. Figured if he thinks it's you get all the heat, but you don't work here. I'll see you later. So here's Jake the Snake, my first time meeting him, and I'm asking to be a blocker so him and Jack Lanza could smoke cigarettes, because Vince McMahon hated cigarettes.
Unbelievable.
So Yes, a very, very unique way to meet somebody that you grew up watching television.